Welcome, everyone. This is actually our last presentation in our research seminar series. My name is Rose Wesson. I'm Associate Provost for Research here at City College. And this research seminar series is a monthly presentation series. We'll start again in the fall, but what we try to do during these presentations is share information about the Office of Research and also about how and why specific requirements are needed in various functions in the Office of Research. So today, let me first say that this session is being recorded. And if you or any of your colleagues want to review the recordings, it's available on the Office of Research website. You can look under Research Seminar Series, and I believe Yvette has put the link in the chat. So all of the presentations from previous seminars are also available at that link in the chat. This session is being recorded, obviously. We're going to ask that questions are held until the end of the presentation. You can either put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I think we can have a conversation about some of the questions if you have any questions. And I think that's the initial information that we wanted to provide. So let me introduce you to Candice Baptiste-Sexton. She's the director of the Grants and Sponsored Programs Office, and she's going to talk to us today about managing research effort and how and why we need to do such. So Candice, it's all yours.
Thank you, Rose, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. I actually just celebrated my 10-year anniversary here at City College. So City College holds a very dear place in my heart because I completed my bachelor and my master's degree here. So I'm very happy to be representing the college today, and particularly the grants office. And so I hope that you will be able to learn something on the subject matter, and I would like to encourage you to reach out to the grants office if you have any questions regarding managing effort or even just grants management. We are here to help, and we are happy to assist in any way. So the grants office is an administrative unit under the Office of Research, which reports to the Provost Office. I have to give this spiel, which I always do, because for some strange reason, many people on campus believe that the Grants Office is Research Foundation. While we work very closely with the Research Foundation, which is our fiscal agent, by the way, we are not the Research Foundation. We are the City College Grants and Sponsored Programs Office, an administrative unit of City College. And in the Grants Office, we help faculty to submit proposals, and we help faculty to manage the awards that result from those proposals. And managing the awards have many different facets to it, including no-cost extensions, budget modifications, HR functions, managing effort, liaising with the legal team or even the sponsors, and some of our other CUNY offices. So again, this can be very complicated at times, and whenever there's any doubt or any questions, concerns, we should be your first call. You should always never hesitate to reach out to us for assistance. So what exactly does it mean do we mean when we say sponsored activity? Sponsored activity can pertain to research, which includes projects or studies that receive financial support from external sources, such as government agencies, foundations, corporations, or nonprofit organizations. Sponsored research typically involves conducting scientific investigations, experiments, or studies to address specific research questions or objectives. It can also mean it can also pertain to programs or projects. And these are initiatives or endeavors that are funded by external sponsors and are aimed at achieving specific goals or outcomes. Sponsored programs can encompass a wide range of activities, including community development, projects, educational programs, health initiatives, technology development, or infrastructure improvement. Sometimes we receive funding for events or conferences, and these are gatherings or meetings that are financially supported by external sponsors. Such events could include academic conferences, industry symposiums, workshops, seminars, student training workshops. And the sponsorship may cover various expenses, including venue costs, speaker fees, travel grants, or participant costs. But this sponsored activity varies from non-sponsored activity, primarily because non-sponsored activity is not externally funded. And you, in the case of sponsored activity, you can have research projects and similar activities that I mentioned, but again, they're not sponsored. So you may have internal research or projects, which are research endeavors or projects that are conducted using internal funds or resources without external sponsorship. And you may also have educational or teaching activities, which involve teaching and instructional tasks carried out by educators, professors, or instructors within the institution. And these can include preparing, delivering lectures, or developing a curriculum, advising students, mentoring. And some faculty may engage in service or outreach initiatives. Again, non-sponsored service or outreach activities focusing on providing assistance, support, or resources to communities, organizations, or individuals. So the overarching difference between sponsored and non-sponsored activities is that sponsored is funded by external sources and non-sponsored is internally funded. The effort that we are going to be discussing today would be focused on the sponsored funding. It's also important to note that while there is this distinction between these types of funding because of the external sources, both types of activities can contribute to the overall goals and mission of the institution. So they're both important and core. So effort on a sponsored project refers to the amount of time and work that an individual or a team devotes to a project that is funded by an external sponsor. The term effort is commonly used in the context of research grants, where it is important to track and report the level of commitment and contribution to the sponsored project. Effort typically includes activities directly related to the project, such as conducting research, performing experiments, collecting and analyzing data, writing reports or publications, attending meetings, collaborating with other team members. And it may also involve administrative tasks such as project management, budgeting, rebudgeting, and reporting to the sponsor. Effort is usually expressed as a percentage of the total time available to the individual or team. For example, if a researcher devotes 50% effort to a particular sponsored project, it means that half of their working time or workload is dedicated to that project. Tracking and reporting effort on sponsored projects is important for several reasons. It helps to ensure that the project is progressing as planned and that the sponsor's funds are being utilized effectively. It also enables the sponsor to monitor the level of commitment and verify that the project's objectives are being met. Additionally, effort reporting is often required for compliance with sponsor regulation and institutional policies. In this presentation, I will discuss the certification of effort as it relates to 9-month, 11-month, and 12-month tax levy appointments. For those who do not know, tax levy refers to those appointments that are managed by the CCNY Human Resources Department and are funded through state dollars, as opposed to those that are externally funded and managed by the Research Foundation of CUNY. Excuse me. At CCNY, most academic appointments are for 9 months. However, the CUNY School of Medicine faculty members are appointed for 11 months, and some researchers are appointed for 12 months. No matter the type of appointment, all efforts expended on sponsored projects must be tracked and certified, and various tools and processes used to achieve these will be discussed in this presentation. So academic or calendar effort is typically known as release time. However, it has been referred to as reassigned time, course buyout, or course release. In an academic context, this type of effort refers to a period of time when an individual is granted relief from their regular duties or responsibilities, typically in their primary employment, to pursue a specific activity or project. This term is often used in the context of academic appointments or positions, particularly in universities or research institutions. In academia, and specifically as it pertains to sponsored projects, release time may be granted to faculty members or researchers to focus on their research or scholarly activities. This time allows them to dedicate themselves to conducting research, publishing papers, securing research funding, or pursuing other scholarly endeavors. Note that release time is budgeted at the time of proposal preparation, and arrangements for course release is made between the faculty member and the departmental supervisor. The grants office does not get involved in these details. So sometimes when faculty members come to prepare for a submission, they'll tell us, I want a budget for a course release, or I need to be released from 2 courses. We will advise them to discuss that with their chair or their dean, and that entity will determine how much percent of the PI's effort is required for them to be released from the particular course or courses in question. So at the end of the day, we just need to know how much percent effort would you like to be released? The details of that and how it relates to the course is something that the faculty member needs to establish with his chairperson, his or her chairperson. Excuse me. So in order for the college to receive reimbursement from sponsored funds for associated staff effort, a staff effort notice must be submitted for each individual released from their academic salaried activities during the fiscal year. Once we, well, to begin the process, GSP, the grants office, will calculate the staff efforts, create the SEN in accordance with the procedures outlined in this slide, and the staff effort notices are then submitted to Research Foundation to initiate the signature process via DocuSign. All necessary parties, the principal investigator, the grants officer, the administrator at RF, will have the ability to review the document before signing electronically through DocuSign. The Research Foundation project administrators will then review all signed SENs to verify the documents are in line with the terms and conditions of the applicable sponsored award before processing. Most of you may be familiar with this image here. Once your award has been set up, you'll have access to manage the funds on the Research Foundation web report portal. This is a subset of what it looks like. You have your object codes, you have the description of those codes, and you have your budget. This basically mimics the award, the budget that has been approved by the sponsor. In order for you to know whether or not your budget includes release time, you'll see it reflected in your web report under object code 5800. And it says here, under the description, it's release time, faculty, and staff. And there's an associated fringe benefit code for that budget line. If you click into that, you see that 13908. If you click into that, it will reveal further information regarding the release time that is budgeted. As you can see in the bottom image, this is what results once you click into that link. It shows you that $13,000 is for 20% of the PI's effort. Excuse me. And this is over the period of performance of the award. It is important to note that the effort was calculated with the salary that was in place at the time of the proposal submission. Therefore, in an event where a PI salary has increased following the registration of a new award, the grant will only be charged the amount that was budgeted, approved by the sponsor. Any shortfall would be reported as unrecovered costs. So this, on the left, you'll see an image of a staff effort notice. I'll just go through it briefly with you. At the top, you see the RF project number, the principal investigator's name, which in this case is CCNY researcher, the purpose of the project, whether it's organized research or other sponsored activity, the period of performance. In this case, it's September 1st, 2022 through August 30th, 2023. And this PI, this effort, this SEN is accounting for a PI's effort of 15% over the period of performance. For faculty on 9-month appointments, we look at the fall semester and the spring semester. Each semester represents 4.5 months. So since this appointment, this period of performance covers both semesters fully, in order to calculate the effort that his 15% represents, it's going to be 4.9 months divided 4.5 divided by 9 for each semester, because each semester is 4.5 and both semesters is 9 months. So 4.5 divided by 9 multiplied by 15% and multiplied by the PI's salary, which is 100K. That amounts to 7,500 each semester. And this is how we calculate the effort. This is how we process the SENs. If this is confusing, if you feel like you need further explanation, we can certainly sit with you and explain it further. So just feel free to let us know. Send us an email to request further guidance on this. As you can imagine, this is a very simple case because it covers both semesters cleanly. But in many cases, you would have projects that start in the middle of the semester. And so we would have to figure out how much, what is the load in that semester? How many months fall into the first semester? How many months fall into the second semester, in order to determine how much effort, the value of the full effort across the period of performance. So it can get a bit complicated at times. So we have processed the SEN, the award has been charged, the college has been reimbursed, and the funds have been routed to the department account. I forgot to mention that when SENs are processed, they go to the PI's department. Well, first they go to the provost office, the provost, yes, they go to the provost account, and then the provost office will determine how much money goes back to each department based on the amount of money that's coming in. So once those funds are routed back to the PI's department, then those departments would have the flexibility to use those funds accordingly. Release time funds do not go to the PI. They go back to the faculty's home department.
So sorry, Candice, this is Rose, and maybe I'll turn my camera on because I said we were holding questions to the end. But let me just say right now that 100% of the release time goes back to the departments. The provost office doesn't keep any of it at this point.
Correct. Once those funds come into the provost office, they review to determine how much goes back to the individual departments based on the faculty members that the release time are attributed to. So all of the funds go back to the home department. So again, we are at the point where the funds have been routed back to the department, and the PI now has to certify that effort. Effort on any particular project is measured as the percentage of the total obligation to the college. This obligation, as I mentioned before, can include teaching, organized research, administration, community activities, etc. While the total number of hours worked may vary from month to month, total effort for each period must be expressed at 100% of the faculty members' effort report. The effort distribution of each faculty member must be certified by semester. In order to generate an online effort certification statement for release time, a staff effort notice must be prepared and submitted by the PI and the grants office to the Research Foundation's Grants and Contracts Department for approval by the project administrator. Once those actions are completed, the effort can then be certified on the effort reporting system. And so how does that work? I'm sure many of you may have received emails from the grants office asking you to go in and certify your effort. So once the period is open, we will send out emails, and you then need to log into the system and determine whether you agree with what's reflected there. And as long as you agree with it, you should go ahead and certify the effort. For those of you who do not know how to reach this, the effort reporting portal, once you log into the Research Foundation account with a PI credential, you navigate to the electronic tools, which the electronic tools tab, and then on the drop-down menu, you should see an item that says effort reporting. Once you click on that, you'll be presented with the effort reporting, I guess, administrative portal, where you would then be able to certify your effort. So if you click on this tab that says certification, you'll be able to select the specific semester that you're interested in certifying your effort for. And you will see something similar to this. It would be a list of projects that you've worked on throughout the semester. And in addition to those projects, you see at the bottom, it says instruction, departmental administration, other institutional activities, etc. At the end of the day, your total effort should be 100%. So you just need to review it, make sure that you're okay with your effort percentages, allocate the ones at the bottom accordingly, and process the certification. If for any reason you have decided that you need to make an adjustment, after you've certified your effort, you will have the opportunity to revoke it. And once that's done, you can go in and make your modifications, and you would be able to resubmit the effort, the certification, that is. So now we're going to move on to a different type of effort that faculty can have. And this one is called summer salary. As you know, many faculty are appointed on 9-month appointment, but as I mentioned before, some faculty members, primarily those in the CUNY School of Medicine, are on an 11-month appointment. And so for those who are on 9-month appointments, they can they can max out on summer salary. They can have 3 months of summer salary, but those who are on 11 months can only request 1 month of summer salary to complete the 12-month appointment. Similarly to the case for the release time, in your web report, you would be able to see whether you have summer salary allocated via object code 5423 with a description of summer salaries. And again, if you click into that blue link, you will be able to see further details regarding the appointment. In this case, we have two investigators who are being supported with summer salary, one of them for 1 month and another for 2 months. And you can see the budget breakdown for each of them. Notice that while release time effort is reflected in terms of percentages, percent of effort, summer salary is reflected in terms of months. So this is the workflow for summer salary appointments. The appointments are initiated by the PI or their designee. Once successfully submitted, the grants office will receive an email to alert that there's a pending appointment for approval. We will then review the appointments for compliance, and as long as we're okay with it, we will approve it. Once we approve it, it is now in the hands of the RF project administrator, who will then also review and take the appropriate action. Once all of these have been approved, the funds will then become encumbered to be further processed once the payment authorizations have been submitted. Again, in order to get to the summer salary portal, you log into the Research Foundation website with your PI credentials. And under the Electronic Tools tab, click Summer Salary. So that opens the Summer Salary Administrative portal, where, as you can see in this picture, you can create an account appointment. You would be able to also create a payment authorization and view any pending actions, do your effort certifications, etc. In order to start a new appointment, you can just click on, you'll click on the first red box, or you can click on the tab at the bottom that says Add New Appointment. When you click on that tab to add a new appointment, you'll be presented with the image that's on the left of the screen. Once you start putting in the project information, it'll populate certain aspects. So it'll populate the PI name. And if there are multiple employees associated with this account, you will see a list of those employees, and then you can select based on that. And it'll also populate the annual salary. The system is getting this information from CUNY. So we never have to go in and add that. It gets updated dynamically. And with that information, it also addresses what the maximum summer salary is. And in the salary encumbrance portion, that's where you're going to put how much money you want to set aside for this account. The image on the right is an example of an appointment that has been filled out already. I'm unable to generate the appointment on my side. However, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and we can walk you through it. So now that we have created an appointment, the grants office has approved it, the project administrator has approved it, the funds have been encumbered. What's the next step? You have to submit payment authorization in order to actually get paid for the summer salary. This is the workflow for that. Similar to the appointment workflow, the PI would initiate the payment authorization approval. The grants office will then approve it, but it doesn't go to the it doesn't go back to the PA at this point. Once the grants office approves it, it's approved fully for the next step for CUNY to then disperse the funds. The summer salary admin that's noted here is the administrator at CUNY. So in essence, this payment authorization is a timesheet. It's telling the system that I have money, I was approved to work during the summer. I have now worked during the summer and I have now put in my timesheet in order to get paid for the work that I've done. So in order to initiate the payment authorization, you would go through the system again, the summer salary administrative portal. You click on payment authorization. If you have anything, if you have a pending appointment, it would show here. So you see at the bottom, there are 2 appointments that are pending because the faculty members have submitted the appointments, but they have not yet authorized payments. So they're waiting for, they're available for payment authorization. And you can see here, there's an encumbrance, but the amount authorized is 0. Okay. What you can see here is the employee name and the project number, which is to the left of the bottom image. The employee name also has a link that you can click on. Once you click into that, you'll be presented with this image here, the payment authorization image, which presents further information. It tells you the project name, the employee name, the amount of money that has been encumbered, meaning that appointment that we did before, that this is the amount of money that this person said that they wanted to be paid for the summer. And that was approved based on the budget, the budget that the sponsor approved. It also gives information about the employee, the faculty member, their annual salary. Because this person is on a 9-month appointment, their maximum allowable summer salary is the 3-month value of their annual salary. So in this case, for this person, the most that this person can get paid over the summer is $47,000. And for each month, that represents $15,762. So I don't know if you recall in one of the previous images, this person was allowed to have 2 months of summer salary on this project. And so that's why you see 2 months of encumbrances shown here under the pending. She can, and she doesn't have, she or he doesn't have to go according to this, They can allocate the money to August. They can allocate the money wherever they want, but it is only 2 months of money that has been authorized for this project. And so in order to put in for the authorization, they would have to click that box in the corner, and they would then click on Submit Selected, which is at the bottom. That would be activated once those boxes are checked off, which would indicate which month of effort or which period of effort the faculty member wants to be authorized for summer salary. There's a schedule for summer salary. And for example, for the first period, June 1st to June 15th, the payment authorization deadline is June 21st. That means that the PI must submit that payment authorization, and the grants office must approve that payment authorization before June 21st in order for this payment to be processed and paid out by July 13th, which is the first check date for summer salary. As long as everything is approved, the PI will be paid by July 13th, and via the regular CUNY paycheck. But as you can see, this schedule is very important, particularly as you exit the summer season. You'll notice the gaps in the payment dates become larger and larger. After the check in October 19th, the next check is December 14th. And the next one after that is March 7th. So it's important to pay attention to these dates because a lot of people think, well, I submitted my authorization last week, so I should get paid in 2 weeks. And that's just not the way that it works with summer salary. Once you have, similarly to the release time effort process, summer salary needs to also be certified following the conclusion of the summer months. Effort should be certified within 45 days of the end of the summer season. Normally, this will mean you certify before October 15th. Effort certification is important and a required component of award management. Again, when you see emails from us, please take action so that we are in compliance with the sponsor and the institution. So once you log into the summer salary administrative portal, you can go into effort certification and follow the prompts there in order to certify your effort. Once again, if you have any concerns, any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help you. And just because I want to make sure that you guys are paying attention, I have some questions for you. How many months are in each academic semester?
So how do we answer?
I think you can unmute or maybe raise a hand. Or you can put it in the chat.
The 4.5.
4.5, very good. 4.5 months in each semester. I see that my staff effort notice has been processed and the funds are now incumbent. When will I receive my check? Anybody?
According to that schedule,
What was that, Rose?
somebody said the next business day. Uh,
Okay,
Candice, this is Latoya. Are we allowed to
no,
pay?
you are not allowed to answer,
Okay.
especially not you. Anyone else?
According to that schedule that you showed.
Hi,
You will
Candice.
not receive release time funds. They go to
Right.
the PI's department.
But wait, you don't say release time up there.
I said staff
Effort.
effort notice.
Oh, I'm sorry, you tricked me. Okay, go ahead, okay.
I'm in the Grove School of Engineering. How many months of summer salary am I allowed to have?
3.
Very good. Yes, 3 months. Oh my gosh. How do I get started with summer salary again? I can't remember.
Call Candice.
That's an answer. You can definitely do that. But you would submit an appointment on the RF CUNY portal for summer salary. Trick question, when does the spring semester start?
$116, somebody says January 16th.
January 16th. Very good. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I've got my summer salary appointment and it looks like all approvals are in place. Is there anything else I need to do in order to get paid? Anybody?
Submit your timesheet, nothing. There's 2 different responses.
You have to submit a payment authorization in order to get paid for summer salary. So
Is
a
this
lot of
written
people
down
do-
somewhere?
a lot of people submit the appointments and they think that's it. There's nothing else to do, but in order to get paid, you must do the payment authorization. It's a 2-part process. That's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
I have lots of questions, but there's a question in the chat. Can we submit retroactive summer salary requests?
Yes, you can. When you log into the summer salary system, you can choose the year in which you can choose the year in which you want to submit that summer salary for. And even in the current year, you don't have to submit the appointment for June in June. You can submit the appointment for June in August. You can submit the appointment for June in December. Just know that it's going to follow that schedule.
Mhm.
So if you don't submit it in a timely manner, you're not going to get paid. Well, you're going to get paid according to the schedule.
Thank you.
Where can we find that schedule?
When you log into the summer salary, when you log into Research Foundation portal and you navigate to the summer salary administrative portal, in the top right corner, there's a help menu. When you click on that help menu, in that there's a list of resources, and one of them is the calendar, is the schedule.
Okay. What happens if I have more than 12 months salary in my grants? So I might have multiple grants. And I
Okay,
have 1 month in numerous grants of summer salary.
so Latoya, Are you there? Would you like to respond? Okay, so I'll take this. You have to, so you're committed for effort across all of your projects, but you can only take 1 month of summer salary. So the other projects, you're going to have to convert the summer salary into release time in order to reflect to the sponsor that you have committed the effort accordingly.
Does the grants office handle or manage non-sponsored activities?
Nope. We do not. The grants office manages activities that are sponsored and fiscally managed by the Research Foundation of CUNY.
So is PSC CUNY considered sponsored?
Okay.
Hey, just asking the questions here.
I mean, it's sponsored somehow. I mean, it's
So
It's
the
a-
grants office handles PSC CUNY?
we do handle PSC CUNY.
Okay, okay. Those nice little flow charts you had, are they anywhere on the website perhaps, or?
Not yet, but they will be.
Okay, and this process, is it on the website somewhere?
It will be. We are in the process of updating the website currently. So we will definitely add these to the website. But if anyone is interested in having them prior to them being updated on the website, please reach out and we'll be happy to provide.
But we also will post the presentation and the slides on the research seminar series website.
Yes,
But I think Candice is talking about on the grants and sponsored programs website as well.
correct.
Those were the questions that I had. Any other questions from anyone else? You can unmute and ask your questions. Because this, and again, there were numerous comments in the chat thanking you, because this is a confusing process. It is not straightforward. Let me just say that. Okay.
Thank you. I didn't get to see the chat at all.
Yes, yes. It was appreciative because, you know, if you miss a step, you know, it seems like it could be hung up for a while and you may not recognize what you haven't done or what's the next step in the process.
Correct. So
Can-
Gail is asking if we can take a partial month if the anticipated effort is not full-time. Correct. You know, you can take, so especially with those PSC CUNY awards, those are very limited. So you know, the summer salary on that may be maybe $1,500 or something like that, which would not be a full month for most faculty members. So yes, you can take a portion, whatever's available to you in your award, you would be able to take that fully. And then whatever that translates to as far as effort, that's reflected in your certification. So it doesn't have to be a full month at all.
So on the other side of the coin, if I want to take my 2-month salary all in August, can I do that?
No, I mean, you can put in the appointment in August and you can get paid for, you will put in for the 2 months in August. So, but it would have to cover 2 months, whether it's June, July, or August.
So let me ask the question differently. Can I request 2 months summer salary in a 1-month time frame?
No, unless it's across 2 different accounts, 2 different awards. But in any case, no, you can't do that. You can only get 1 month of summer salary in 1 month period.
Okay. Any other questions? We're approaching the 3 o'clock hour, but again, Candice, this was very, very informative.
Thank
There's-
you.
There's another comment. I've always been confused about January. Not sure I understand it, but you may.
Despina, do you want to come off mute and explain your question?
Sure. I'm wondering, so January doesn't really start, or the second semester doesn't start until January 15th or January 16th.
16.
So if we choose, I know that if we choose to teach in January, then it counts as a different thing. One can get paid or whatever, or count towards the spring load. But if one is engaged only in research in January, especially those first 2 weeks, can somebody use summer funds towards January?
No,
No.
the summer salary is supposed to be for work conducted during the summer period.
Okay. I was just confused because I hear people getting funds for, but I guess it's not from sponsored grants. Maybe it's from state initiatives or other things.
Maybe I know that summer salary does not. I mean, okay. In many cases, people do submit their summer salary late, so they might very well be getting paid in January because of when they submitted it, when the authorizations were approved. But that doesn't mean that they did the work in January. It just means that they submitted the authorization late, and as a consequence of that, the payment is late. I hope that helps. Latoya, you had a question?
No, I was gonna respond to
Okay.
Despina, but you followed up with her.
Okay.
So again, both Candice, Latoya, the grants office, they're available if you have questions. Candice gave the email address if you have additional questions or if you think of something after this webinar. But thank you for attending. Again, Candice, thank you for the presentation. It was very informative. I'm still confused, but that's okay. I have a better idea of some of the aspects of this and what faculty are having to deal with. So thank you, everyone. As I said in the beginning, this is our last one for the semester. Look for us again in the fall, and we'll have more exciting topics about research at City College. So have a good rest of the day, have a good summer, and we'll see you in the fall.
Thank you, everyone.